Hi everybody, happy Monday to you, and it's time for another book review. If you're new here, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Debbie. So every Monday I sit here and I tell you about the latest, not latest, but the newest book that I just finished. And this one is extremely steamy. Dr. Heartless is by Saman, and this book makes its way to my favorites, so gold star for this one. Okay, I'm going to start this review off by reading the blurb, and then we will recap, review, and rate the book. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and get this started. He's cruel, insufferably attractive, and broken beyond redemption. After the nightmare I just ran from, those details should have made him the perfect storm of do not touch. Except I didn't know any of this, other than the attractive part, when I met him. Our story started on a lie. He pretended to be someone else, and I didn't ask a lot of questions. Nor did I try to stop him when he snuck out of my hotel room in the wee hours of the morning. I was determined to start my new life on an uptick, and a wild one night with a hot stranger felt just like the ticket. Only I should have known something that good wouldn't end that easy. On my first night in my new house, our paths cross again, when I discover he's my new neighbor. No longer the charming man I met in the bar, he's a grump, completely unfriendly, and utterly intolerable. As if this couldn't get any worse, I quickly learn I'm also his daughter's new teacher. A wonderful daughter I can't help but fall in love with. Something I refuse to do with him. Our button-pushing back and forth never fails to get under my skin. If anything, his sudden off-limit status makes resisting this devil of a single dad that much easier. Regardless of the temptation he presents. How searing his heated gaze is when I catch him staring, or our breathless stolen moments leave us. After all, this is the fresh start I so desperately need, and I will not let anything get in my way. No, I can't give in to Dr. Heartless, no matter how hard he tries to change my mind. Okay, I will be spoiling this book from here on out, so spoiler warning set now. If you'd rather read the book instead of listening to me, then please exit out and read it, and then you can come back and we can discuss it, in the comments below. Or if you don't mind me talking about it and spoiling it for you, then please keep on watching. Okay guys, so from the prologue to the epilogue, let me tell you, hooked. Okay, let's recap and review, shall we? Right when I'm about to start the recap and review, this battery dies. Okay, so Elle had been married to David Chambers, who is a professional athlete for a few years. In the beginning of the book, she addresses issues that they have had, as well as how he had been treating her lately. Like, he's been treating her like a doormat, basically. He made a comment about how she can't dress right or cook right, etc. He just tries to tear her down. And Elle had enough of that, and she grabbed her things while he was sleeping and she leaves him. I applaud her for this. Landon Fritz is a single father and cardiologist. He's always working and he's always around his daughter. He doesn't seem to have a life outside of work and family, and he doesn't date. He does have his reasons for not dating. I mean, his wife had passed away from, I'll tell you what that was later, but his wife did pass away when their daughter was very young. He hasn't dated since she passed. So his twin brother, identical twin brother Luca, had offered to keep an eye on Stella while Landon just goes out, because this guy has not been out in a very long time. So he goes to a bar where Luca is actually a regular, and everyone who knows Luca never sees Landon, so Landon is automatically mistaken for Luca. Now, as I had mentioned in the previous book review for J. Saman's book called Dr. Mistake, I'll link that video in the card, the Abbott Fritz family is referred as rich billionaire royalty. Landon doesn't want any scandal or controversy getting back to him and his daughter Stella. Luca is used to being in that type of spotlight, of where he's photographed with random women. If Landon is photographed with someone, then it wouldn't be a big deal, considering that he'll be mistaken for Luca. So, that being said, let's get back to the night of the bar. Elle and Luca meet, and Landon is immediately drawn to her. They end up having a mind-blowing one-night stand, and hilarity happens afterwards. So Elle moves into her new home. While she unpacks, she gets a knock on the door, and after asking who is it, the guy on the other end says, "Oh, my name is Landon Fritz. I have one of your boxes by mistake." And he does tell her that he's her new neighbor. So when she opens the door, and she finds Luca on the other side. As soon as she realizes how he introduced himself, she's immediately upset about that. She just feels like he had lied to her and deceived her. And you know, she had already been lied to by her ex-husband, and she thought he was playing some sort of a game of when he goes in disguise of his brother to pick up other women. You know, strong accusations, but wrong. Landon is upset of seeing Elle because she could be the woman who helps him move on. They really did connect that night, well, physically and on conversation, should I say? But you know, he doesn't want to move on. You know, he wants to keep the memory of his wife alive, for himself and for his daughter. So he immediately and does not want to be nice to her. Elle gets a job as a middle school teacher, thanks to her best friend Bridget, who isn't part of the David Chambers circle. During parent-teacher night, Landon kisses Elle, but they walk away even more confused than ever. Elle befriends Stella Fritz outside of her home and befriends her at the school. She helps her through an embarrassing time in every teenage girl's life. She walks home with Stella, considering that they live right next door to each other. And they talk about how Elle can cook and how Stella has wanted to learn, and Elle even shows her the greenhouse and everything, and that Landon and her uncles had built for her. Landon comes home and isn't happy to see Elle with Stella, but he does agree to let Stella go over to Elle's place so then she can learn how to cook. And Landon, by that point, is slowly figuring out that Stella does need more female interaction and more like a strong female figure in her life, so she can learn from, just have like a strong female role model, should I say. Yeah, role model, that's where I was going with that. Elle has been receiving phone calls from David since she's left. And, you know, her parents have been calling her, her twin sister, Kat, has called her too. So yeah, Elle has an identical twin named Kat. So David is extremely upset about their divorce because he is losing a few of his endorsements and sponsorships that are all like family oriented. And, you know, Elle basically tells him that that's not her problem anymore. You know, Elle had agreed not to say anything about David in the media, and it's actually written in their divorce that she will not say anything. But she ended up getting a lot of money out of the divorce, so, you know, good for her. Her parents are just rude people, and they're just so terrible to Elle about the divorce. And, you know, just kind of accuse her of not being a good wife to David when she was, like, the best. And, yeah, they were just, they're so rude. And, you know, they kept on, her parents, Elle's parents, kept on making threats about David. And, you know, she doesn't care. Because it's like, well, why would she care? They're divorced. David makes a confession to Elle that he has been giving her parents money. Elle wants to know why. And David confesses it's because he had cheated on Elle with Kat. And their parents, and Elle and Kat's parents caught him. And now they're blackmailing him. And because Elle is divorced from David, her parents don't have any of that money coming in anymore. This is some serious soap opera plot right there, and I'm enjoying every single minute of it. Instead of being upset that David was caught cheating on Elle with their daughter Kat, instead of being upset about it, they turned that into, oh, here's an opportunity to make money off of this rich guy. That's a plot twist. Now, after a talk with his brothers, Landon decides to try with Elle. Because, you know, to him, she's everywhere. Luca can tell Landon has some strong feelings towards Elle, and Reese, his wife, would have wanted him to move on. Landon blames himself for Reese's death. He said some things to her that caused her to leave, and she died in a car accident, which was horrible, sad and horrible. So after seeing Elle come home from a party at her friend's, at Bridget's house, with a blind date that Bridget had decided to set her up on, and basically just sprung it on her, much to Elle's dismay about it, Landon comes over to her house after he had seen that the guy had dropped him off. Or dropped her off, sorry. So steamy stuff happens. This couple is fire. Like, I can feel their chemistry through my book, and it's off the charts top. Landon's family immediately accepts Elle. They love to see Landon happy. They haven't seen him happy in a very long time. And Elle's family, on the other hand, are money hungry and horrible. Landon dislikes Elle's ex-husband for treating Elle like a doormat and not the goddess that she is. Guys, come on. Treat your women like the goddesses they are. The only person who doesn't seem to know about Elle and Landon's relationship is Stella. But after overhearing her uncles talk about it, she just kind of figures it out. They do say some stuff that she just automatically starts going, oh, she's kind of connecting the dots a little bit as to why Landon doesn't want to date and what's keeping him from moving on. But she does close off after a day at the fair and everything, so Elle basically tells Landon to just go ahead and go home, that they'll meet up later on. Just, you know, tend to your daughter because obviously she needs someone to talk to. So while she waits for him, she gets a call from her twin sister, Kat. Elle confronts Kat on everything, like including drugging David and getting him to sleep with her, and then blackmailing him afterwards, along with her parents. Kat makes threats to take David's infidelity to the press unless Elle pays her some of the money she got from the divorce. Elle has told her she would rather have that leaked out to the press than give Kat money or their parents a dime. So then, realizing that she's serious, Kat starts to plead with her, apparently. She owes money to some guy that she made like gambling bets with, and if she doesn't pay off this debt, he will kill her, basically. So despite all the horrible things Kat had done, Elle decides that she doesn't want to be the one to sign her death warrant. So she tells Kat to give her the phone number to this guy that she owes money to, so then she can pay off that debt. In exchange, that she never hears from Kat or their parents again. And then Kat accepts that. So Landon does talk with Stella while all this was going on with Elle and Kat. And Stella does tell him that she knows that Landon blames himself for her mom's demise, but she does make it clear to him that she wants her father happy, and he deserves to be happy. And even though Landon hasn't said it yet, she does tell him that she also loves Elle too. So later, the happy couple, which is Landon and Elle, is interrupted by a paparazzi guy taking photos of Elle and Landon and trying to get like an interview. They're trying to get an interview with Elle about her husband. And immediately Landon just goes into action. He smashes this guy's camera and then runs into their house, and he tells Stella to start packing within 5 minutes. And then he calls his parents' security team and to get like an escort to their family's compound. Landon explains to Elle the paparazzi are horrible and malicious. Elle figures out her parents have something to do with it, and fed up and not listening to Landon, Elle runs outside to see her parents out there with the paparazzi guy. And it's only one paparazzi guy. So Landon actually follows her out, and he reminds the pap guy that he has a restraining order against any paparazzi person, basically, like any magazine or anything like that. Like, they are not allowed to follow him or even be on his property, which that ends up scaring this guy off. So yeah, you don't mess with restraining orders. Then Elle's parents start making threats to drag Landon into giving them money, and Elle immediately shuts that down. She's like, no, you're not getting anything. So then a few things happen at the exact same time. There's like 3 big SUV cars that drive up, and they're all to escort Landon, his daughter, and Stella. Not Stella, sorry. Yeah, Landon, his daughter, and Elle back over to his family's compound. Then Elle's father drops down and has a heart attack. Landon convinces Elle to go with Stella to his family's compound while he helps with Elle's dad, because remember, Landon is a cardiologist. Okay guys, I know I spoiled this story so bad, and I'm actually stopping here. It's, this book had plot twists and unexpected moments, and it was just so unpredictable. And I love when books are unpredictable like that. I really do. I didn't know what to expect when I first started reading this, but there were events that were thrown into this book, and I felt like I had to adapt to each plot twist. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time I had been reading this. I mean, well done to Saman. This does deserve its 5-star rating that I did give it. Saman wrote such a captivating love story. This was just so amazing. It really was. I do want to know what song was going through her head when she had wrote the window scene. I'm hoping that she tells me this because I'd like to know. So I'm thankful I was provided an ARC from Saman and from Grace Promotions, so thank you so much for that. And thank you guys for watching. Have a great day and have an amazing week, and I will see you again in the next review.